But meanwhile, of course, with Theresa May coming into the country, many would ask why the sudden interest by the United Kingdom in Africa. She began in South Africa, was in Nigeria, and then this morning has flown into Kenya. Is it all about trade? Is it about investment? Is it about Brexit? Sam Gituku puts all this into perspective.
Theresa May is on her first African tour since becoming British Prime Minister in 2016 and has already made stops in South Africa and Nigeria. And as she prepares to hold talks with President Kenyatta, she has been keen on championing Britain as a worthy trade partner, her goal to see the UK overtake the US as the biggest investor in Africa from the G7 nations.
By 2022, I want the UK to be the G7's #1 investor in Africa, with Britain's private sector companies taking the lead in investing the billions that will see African economies growing by trillions.
And her intentions are for a reason. According to data from the Central Bank of Kenya, Kenya imported goods worth 30 billion shillings from the UK in 2017. Compare that to 57.3 billion shillings worth of imports from rival United States of America. In the export market, the UK still trails the US, Kenyans exporting goods valued at 38.5 billion shillings to the UK in 2017, more than what the UK sold to Kenya, and 47.2 billion shillings worth of goods to the US. President Kenyatta has just returned from the US with the promise of deepening trade ties with Donald Trump's nation. And May arrives in Nairobi hoping to be the better negotiator. But there is a common enemy for both Western nations, and that is China. In 2017, imports from China to Kenya were more than 4 times the volume of imports from both the US and UK combined. 390 billion shillings worth of goods came from China. But it's more a thorn in the flesh for the UK, which leaves the European Union in 2019. With an imminent reduced access to the European market, the UK is keen on boosting its trade ties with partners outside Europe, Africa a keen target.
That is why I want to create a new partnership between the UK and our friends in Africa, one built around our shared prosperity and shared security.
Talks with Kenyatta are expected to focus on repatriation of funds believed to be proceeds of economic crimes held in the UK, as well as investment into oil and gas exploration, among other services. Kenyatta will early next week travel to China, where he is expected to speak a similar language with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.